So there has been some mixed feelings around Konami's announcement of Silent Hill F. Some seem to love it, whilst others in the fanbase clearly despise it. The question is it really that bad? With Silent Hill 2 Remake that went down as a success given on the shaky reputation of Konami and its direction of its video games, but with the help of Blooper Team, they managed to recreate arguably the best game in the series thus far.
This whole town was our special place. Could Mary really be here?
There's no doubt that they reinvented the game whilst adding something new to elevate the experience whilst honouring long-time fans and keeping intact what's important. Silent Hill F is very intriguing to say the least, and truth be told, it looks to be very promising. In fact, I'm very surprised that Konami isn't just relying on former glories to stay relevant. As you are all aware, we live in an era where creative ideas are lackluster and stagnant compared to the past. It's either a remake of a video game or the same movie rehashed with no creativity. However, I think Konami showcased something very interesting and unique. Now, I'm not going to talk about what to expect because that's been covered 1,000 times and I'm a bit late to this show. Rather, I want to discuss the lore and world building of this game that surrounds a great but flawed legacy and clearly what the fans are talking about. And especially in regards of this being a Silent Hill game, even though it doesn't actually take place within the town of Silent Hill, which to some of those fans who see this as an issue, I really don't get your point. Since other Silent Hill games have known to take place outside of a town itself, in fact we've seen a few times before in Silent Hill 3 for example, the mall and other areas which hasn't been specified as being in the town of Silent Hill, although we do make a return there. Same goes for Silent Hill 4, which is in the fictional city of Ashfield, specifically in the South Ashfield Heights apartment complex, and most of this game takes place on the outskirts of Silent Hill. And same goes for Silent Hill Homecoming, which takes place in the fictional town of Shepherd's Glen, which is located across the lake from Silent Hill. So what do all of these games have in common then? Well, they don't take place in the town of Silent Hill for the most part, which means the influence of the Otherworld is capable of stretching to different locations then, just as the town itself. Characters, events, and the cult that is the source of the town's supernatural events all remain intact, but are obviously not stationary to one location. As a narrative direction goes, it's a smart writer's move for the future of Silent Hill games to make all the sense in the world. It doesn't make sense for the future of these games to take place in the same location every time. That's going to get boring real quick, and as there only is so much to be explored of the town itself. As we are aware, the origins of these manifestations, as we are told by the games, originates from the cult-like rituals from the order of Alessa Gilseppi. At the heart of it all is the concept of psychological trauma. Each manifestation in the Otherworld is a physical reflection of the character's personal demons, whether it's James Sunderland's guilt in Silent Hill 2 or Harry Mason's search for his daughter in the original game. The Otherworld is not just a space, it's an emotional landscape shaped by the character's unresolved struggles. Now, the cult to the Order plays a crucial role in this, especially in games like Silent Hill 3. They seek to control the Otherworld through the dark rituals, hoping to bring forth a god from the town's depths. The Otherworld's continued existence is tied to these powers, with Alessa Gilseppi's psychic abilities being the driving force behind its creation and perpetuation. Her suffering combined with the cult's rituals turns the town into a gateway for this terrifying Otherworld. In essence, the Otherworld is a manifestation of Silent Hill's twisted history and personal struggles of its characters and the dark powers that control it. It's well known that some fans, and some Japanese fans in particular, initially disliked Silent Hill 2 because it dropped the plot of the first game and went with something totally unrelated, which is why Silent Hill 3 returns to the original, and it's obviously a direct sequel to it. So naturally the narrative of Silent Hill F seems quite contradictory from its early beginnings of the cult and its connection to the Otherworld. To me, it just seems self-explanatory at this point and doesn't really require a lot of figuring out. Remnants of Silent Hill and the cult and its dark magic do exist in these games. Like Silent Hill 2, even if it's not actively a part of the reason why these manifestations happen, James used to go to Silent Hill with Mary, and after the terrible events leading to her death, the town called upon James as it would anyone else in contact with a dark aura. This I don't believe is a parallel universe, but rather the same plane of existence that this Otherworld can manifest itself into. Silent Hill F, the up-and-coming game, is set in the 1960s, which marks itself in the timeline set before any other Silent Hill game in the series. And this time, Silent Hill takes a whole new direction, taking place in Japan, in the fictional Japanese town of Ebisugaka, which is based on the real town of Kaneyama. The problem some people have with this game in the fanbase, which the most obvious is that it's not taking place in Silent Hill or anywhere close to the town, and that it completely defeats the objective of it being a Silent Hill game because it doesn't take place there where the manifestations and Otherworlds usually take place. Now, it's already hated before they've even given Silent Hill F a chance. I mean, don't judge a book by its cover. Now, I am in agreement about the nature and the importance of this dynamic of the story. It's not like Konami can pretend the Otherworld can just exist in another location. Rightfully, we're going to need some explanation to make it make sense. Now, from what I've gathered, is Silent Hill Origins, as implied by its name, was where Silent Hill began and how it came to be. Now, I may be wrong, but I feel as if this game will explain in some detail the nature of the Otherworld, and it is perhaps to shed some light on how it is possible to manifest in different locations. The curse of Silent Hill usually just means spiritual energies and malicious forces messing around with stuff they don't understand, so that doesn't need to be exclusive to one location. Silent Hill F is basically a prequel, so it's likely going to explain itself. If not, then, well, it's something for you to argue about on Reddit. As we know, Silent Hill's dark and twisted history is rooted in its origins, a sacred place for Native American tribes who saw it as a spiritual ground. The tribes believed that the area held immense power and conducted rituals to honour the spirits, but they also warned that the religion fell into the hands of immigrants, and it was deeply influenced by their own original religious beliefs, suggesting that the origins and roots of the order were inspired from the natal religion of the Native Americans. They're beyond too many arguments in the fanbase, but there is no doubt it's got our attention. Some excuse the other games in the series like Silent Hill 3 and protagonist Heather Mason as being connected to the town and because of her past, hence why she enters the Otherworld even whilst not being in the town alongside Claudia. And in Silent Hill 4, Walter Sullivan's connection to Silent Hill stems from his upbringing and indoctrination by the Order. Born in the town, Walter was abandoned as a baby and left at room 302 of South Ashfield Heights. But when he was younger, he was taken in by the Wish House orphanage run by the Order, where he was brainwashed into believing that performing the 21 Sacraments ritual would reunite him with his mother. Walter is, in short, his connection to Silent Hill is rooted in being a product of the Order's manipulative upbringing, which shaped his psyche and fueled his tragic path as the antagonist we know. So the idea is that anyone who is usually affiliated with the town in some way allows them to manifest the influence of the Otherworld in different locations, including certain people who may get drawn into it.
And that monster, what the hell was that?
I don't know any more than you do. All I know is that things are getting really screwy around here, and I got a weird feeling it's got something to do with me.
So it still remains really unclear as of now how this is going to connect with the series, and personally I believe it should. There has been a change of hands and writers and directors over the course of the series, with Silent Hill F being written by Ryokishi07, known for his works on Higurashi When They Cry. This Japanese visual novel series developed by 07's expansion, it's a psychological horror and mystery story set in a small rural village called Hinamizawa, where dark secrets and eerie rituals haunt the townsfolk. The story revolves around a group of friends who become entangled in a series of brutal murders and mysterious disappearances, all seemingly tied to the village's sinister past and a curse known as Orishima-sama's curse. The narrative structure is unique because it's presented in a separate story arcs that often restart or show alternative perspectives, leading to a sense of confusion and paranoia as the characters unravel the truth behind the curse. It's packed with psychological horror themes of distrust, betrayal, and a gradual descent into madness. Characters appear sweet and innocent on the surface, but can rapidly become violent or unhinged, blurring the lines between reality and delusion. As for Silent Hill F, drawing inspiration from Higurashi When They Cry could mean leaning heavily in that disturbing mix of psychological horror and unsettling social dynamics. Expect a haunting atmosphere where paranoia seeps into the relationships between characters as showcased in the trailer, and where seemingly innocent settings reveal deeply rooted darkness and trauma. Given that Silent Hill F is set in the 1960s Japan, this inspiration could add a distinct flavour of cultural horror and folklore whilst embracing Higugashi's trademark tension and dread, so it begs to differ if Silent Hill F will be taking a lot of inspiration from this novel, because it's not linked from the town. But as of yet, we really don't know if the game will acknowledge these aspects of the previous titles or completely abandon it and create something new. Whilst it's bringing a fresh cultural and thematic influences, the core concepts of personal nightmares manifesting as horrific realities seem intact. It's more than likely going to expand the lore rather than overwrite it, showing how Silent Hill's influence might expand beyond the American town, possibly hinting that the power to manifest trauma can exist elsewhere, depending on certain catalysts or rituals, or perhaps some afflicted with the town may be projecting these manifestations of the Otherworld in Japan. Team members developing Silent Hill F have acknowledged this and revealed that Silent Hill F's interpretation of the Otherworld won't be the exact same blood-smeared rusty scenery, but rather a beautiful but haunting flowery other side, most likely tied to the new protagonist Hinako Shimizu, just like other characters in the series, and how it affects their psyches. It's not the first time Silent Hill has gone to another country, like Silent Hill Ascension, if you can count that as a good game, that takes place in Norway. Hopefully this isn't the case with this interactive show. That was an absolute disaster, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree. But some believe this is Konami's way of abandoning its roots and stepping away from its westernized take of this psychological horror and its move to Japanese culture and influence, which has clearly been stated on the trailer. But also it's been mentioned that it's just a marketing decision rather than fan service, that they are just going to copy Resident Evil, and because that's what was said in some recent interviews. They think that because Resident Evil wasn't always centered around Raccoon City, that Silent Hill should also be able to exist out of the confines of the town. Either way, I personally don't care because I'm not a fanboy. I just appreciate the series and would like it to connect to the other games in some way. Silent Hill F has no release date as of yet, but be sure to subscribe to the channel for more updates if this is what you like, and hit the like button and leave a comment to tell me what you make of Konami's output on this new Silent Hill game. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.
あなたが幸せをつかんでくれることを願っています。